India Council of Technical Education sponsored short-term training program phase 4, and due to some urgency of the work of sir, we changed the schedule of this important talk, National Education Policy 2020, from 11:30 to the 4 p.m. So it is my duty to introduce our expert sir to all the participants, that Dr. P.K. Sahoo sir is a professor and the head of Department of Pharmacy in DPSRU, New Delhi. And sir has a very rich experience of teaching and research of more than 35 years. Sir has served as a director of AICTE from 2010 to 13 and 1998 to 2004. Sir also served as a regional officer AICTE Bangalore, regional officer AICTE Bhopal, regional officer AICTE Mumbai, regional officer AICTE Kanpur, regional officer as a AICTE Kolkata. Sir is also an expert panel of NAC, NBA, AICTE, Pharmacy Council of India, BELA project evaluations, AICTE project evaluations, and many more. Sir has supervised more than 10 PhD scholars and more than 70 M.Pharm PG research scholars, and published many books and papers in reputed international and national journals. Sir is a life member of APTI, IPA, IPGA, Indian Hospital Pharmacy Association, ISTE, and Odisha Chemical Society. Sir, we are very blessed and lucky to have you to listen the important words of National Education Policy as a pharmacist, to know each and everything of NEP for pharmacy faculty or pharmacy teachers. Sir, over to you.
Okay. Thank you, Professor Sharma, for giving a nice introduction. And actually, though the topic was computer-aided drug design, but from the beginning, I asked that my lecture will be on National Education Policy
2020. For a second.
Yes.
AICTE also compulsory for 2 lectures of NEP in any STTP.
Oh, very good.
Are compulsory for the National Education Policy to know each and everything about NEP to all the faculty members.
So I feel happy that yes, it is relevant to this STTP.
Yes, it is fully relevant, sir.
Yes. So I just welcome all the organizers, the principal of the institute, the coordinator of this STTP, and the management of the institution. And I welcome all the participants to this seminar and to my lecture. So here, this National Education Policy, since it was relevant to this STTP, and our pharmacy education comes under the higher education category, and everybody should know what is going to change after implementation of this National Education Policy, which will help our profession and the entire higher education of India. So to start with, let me tell that this National Education Policy, the first one came after 21 years of independence in 1968. And the second one, second National Education Policy was implemented in 1986. And the same second National Education Policy was implemented, modified in the year 1992 with the introduction of all the entrance examination in the higher education system, higher technical education system. So once we take, we say that a higher education system means it is all education after the elementary and school level, all the education is called higher education. Within the higher education, we have a education called a technical education, and that technical education, it includes our engineering, management, pharmacy, this MCA, hotel management, all these things, this modern art and culture, all these things comes under technical education. And our focus will be into the pharmacy education under the technical education. So, as I told, the first two national education policy, that is 1968 and 1986, it came during the Congress government. Those time, the government which was ruling the country was Congress, 1968 Congress government, and 1986 also. It was during the Congress government, all these education policy came. But this third national education policy, which came after 34 years of the second national education policy, that is National Education Policy 2020, it came during this BJP government in power at the center. Usually, whatever education policy is framed at the center, usually the government which is in power, their thought, their culture, their philosophy is inculcated into the national education policy while framing the all these national education policies. During this Congress government, the first education policy, that is 68, it was those time it was made that the people should be, there should be mass education, and all up to the age of 14 they should get the education. That was and during those time it was India was growing after the independence. It was slowly growing, and up to the age of 14 all has to be educated. That was the policy in first education policy. Then during the second education policy, that is 1986, it wanted to create a pool of education and trained human resource who will contribute to the value chain. That was the dream, and creating human resources who will create value propositions. These were the policy of the second national education policy, that was 1986. But the third national education policy, which came in recently in 2020, the thought of this government is that our culture, our language, everything will be implemented, or it will be inculcated into our education policy. Earlier, whatever education we were studying in, not in our local language, either it is Hindi or it is Marathi or it is Telugu or it is any regional languages. And the culture also was almost it was this Western culture. We are studying this European history, we are studying European culture, all these things, and European languages. English was a language which was thrust upon the students, and there is no way other than English to get the higher education or this technical education. But this new education policy, they have insisted, yes, English will be there. There is no doubt, because internationally also we have to see that the pass out or the youth, those who are educated in India, also they should be competitive in international market. So in English, no doubt that will be a part of this education policy. But at the same time, they have implemented, they have made the policy. So far it is not implemented. They have made a policy that yes, our local language, whether it is Hindi or whether it is Marathi or whether it is Oriya or whether it is Bengali, those things will be there. And that is the reason there is a effort are going on that all the books will be prepared in the local language itself, so that whether it is technical education, medical education, or pharmacy education, you will find the books in gradually, not that in a single year everything will come. Once the education policy is implemented, we will find all the books will be available in the local language. At the same time also, they will find books in English and other foreign languages. So during the school education, they have made it that students will study this up to 11 years, 5 plus 3 plus 3. Thereafter, it is 4 years. So that will be undergraduate system. And the English will be implemented after fifth year. That is 3 plus after fifth year. Then 3 plus 3, those things will be English, and English will not comprise a major portion of the education. It will be a minor portion of the education, and the local languages will be there. So the purpose is that earlier we are far away from our own heritage, own culture, own education system. We are away from that. We were, you see, there was a time when Indian education system, it was the best in the world. If you consider this Nalanda University, it was those days, that was the center of education, international education. People were coming from China, people were coming from Europe and other countries to get educated in Nalanda University. So Nalanda, Takshashila, these were the center of education those time. It is not that, so afterwards we lost all this glory, and we, after the British came and English was made the education system, and we are after the Western education. So the core purpose of this new education policy is that yes, we will have this our local, our own heritage, our own culture. Everything will be reflected in our education system. Mostly, it will be reflected in our school and elementary and school education system mostly. In higher education, it will not be that much, and in technical education also, it will not influence that much. But the structure of the education system also going to be changed. Of course, these are at the policy stage. So far, it is not implemented. Government has accepted the national education policy, but at the time of implementation of this national education policy, you will find there are certain difficulties may also arise, and it may be modified. Yes, whatever difficulty, because all of a sudden, if you change all the pharmacy books in English and all, your Hindi, all the pharmacy books in Telugu, it is not possible. You see, medicinal chemistry, Wilson Jiswal, if you convert into Telugu or Oriya or Hindi, overnight it may not be possible. It will take time. But it is going to happen. That is the thing. So at the implementation stage, you will find how it is implemented. Second, there is in UG system also, they have made a multiple entry and multiple exit system. A person, if he is going to get a degree of 4 years, if he completes the first year, and he is unable to complete the course, then he may be given a certificate that he has completed 8 credits or 10 credits in the first year, and he is given a certificate. Even he completes 2 years and he wants to go away from the education and do some job, then he will be given a diploma certificate by completing 16 credits or 20 credits, whatever it is prescribed. So he can go with that diploma and he can seek a job outside. Once he completes the job and is satisfied, again he can come back and he can complete the remaining 2 years. So then he will get his 4-year degree, master undergraduate degree. Yes, he will get a degree in engineering or degree in pharmacy, whatever it may be. But this is the called multiple entry and multiple exit system. He can enter to the system at one point and he can leave at any point. Again, he can enter to the system. Earlier, what was happening, if you have 1 year, you have studied and by chance some difficulty happened, you left the course and again you want to complete the course after 2 years. If you want to come back, then that was not possible. But in this case, whatever credit you have earned, that will be credited to your account. You will have a digital account and that account will show that yes, you have completed this many. So again, if you want to start complete the remaining, you will enter through the course and you will complete the course. That way it happens. And different courses has different credits or modules which are similar in nature. So if you want to do another degree and some of your credits which are similar to the credits in the other degree, so those similar credits will not require to be repeated again. You have to do the remaining credits and you get another degree. This way it will happen. Of course, all these things are in a nascent stage, and unless it is implemented, what is the difficulty faced and what are the problems arise, that time it will be decided and it may be modified also. So this is the system which is going to be implemented. It may take 6 to 7 years to completely implement all these new education policy, and this consolidation of all the systems will take time. The another major thing of this new education system is that the system is going to put all the education system, multiple approval system into single approval system that will deal in the other slides. But let me tell you what was the scenario of the higher education during the independence. During independence, the total number of universities in India, it was 1950, it was 30 universities in all over India. And the colleges were 695 colleges. There was no UGC also that time. When the independence, it was 1950. UGC came in 1956. AICTE came in 1987. That time UGC was not there, AICTE was not there, but still there were colleges, still there were universities. It was gradually all these things developed. UGC came into picture in 1956, AICTE in 1987. Then there is NAC and NBA. All these things came into picture, and the education system it went up. And the enrollment those days, it was only the enrollment was only few thousand those time. But today, if you find the enrollment is 37.4 million in the higher education. I'm talking about the higher education system, not the elementary education. And India is the higher education is the third in the world after USA and China. This is the education scenario, higher education scenario in our hello. I'm in a meeting. I will you contact me after 1 hour. Then the salient features of this national education policy, I'll just tell the salient features of national education policy. That this national education policy, it is a 500-page document, a very big one, and it comprises of elementary education, then your school education, and your higher education system. And within the higher education, it is the technical education. So whatever we are discussing, we are not discussing whatever we are discussing, the higher education only, not the elementary education or this school education. So in higher education system, there is the government is going to establish, already it is established, that NTA, there is a national testing agency that it will be established, which will conduct all national level tests. Earlier, the examinations were conducted by different CBSE, Central Board of Secondary Education, was doing all these tests, and this is JEE Advanced or Joint Entrance Examination for admission to IITs, NITs, and NEET examination for admission into medical colleges. All these things have been taken over by this National Testing Agency. It is an agency under the Ministry of Education. Earlier it was
BELA.
Human Resource Development. So that is the NTA. Then there will be multiple entry and multiple exit option for completing a degree. I was just describing you that earlier, if the degree is of 4 years and it is divided into each year is few credits, 8 credits every year, 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 32 credits. If you complete, you get your degree, whether it is engineering degree or it is pharmacy degree or whatever. But they have made it, yes, into credit and different years, and you can enter the course after completion of a set of credits. If you leave the course also, your education will not go into waste. You will get a certificate. It is at the elementary level, you will get a certificate certifying that you have completed this course. So that is course completion certificate you will get after 2 years of, or after 16 credits. If you leave the course, you may get a diploma certificate, and with that also you can go for a job. If you get a job, you do the job, and after completion, or when you are comfortable, if you come back and do the remaining credit, you may get a degree. So that way, it is the multiple entry and multiple exit options will be there, and whatever you have studied, that will not go away. Even you have completed few credits, that will be shown in your account. Yes, you have completed this. So for example, you are doing BSc microbiology. So in microbiology, you might have studied anatomy, physiology, health education. You might have studied bacteriology. You might have studied virology. Suppose somebody is doing have studied biochemistry, and you are going to do this pharmacy education. You have come doing pharmacy education. Then if the microbiology is common in that course, and it is also common in this pharmacy, biochemistry is common there and common here. Anatomy, physiology, health education is common there and common here also. So those papers you need not repeat again. Those are simply waived off because already that is appearing in your credit system. You have completed those courses. So you complete the remaining credits, then you will get the degree. This is the, you can carry your credit along with you. It will be reflected. Of course, everything will be digital. You need not carry the physical certificate. Always it will be digital certificates. That I will give one example. Suppose you are appearing this GRE examination. GRE, you get a score. Suppose you appear this TOEFL examination, that is test of English as a foreign language, TOEFL. You are also getting a certificate, but you need not carry this certificate. There will be a simply digital number will be there. That number you put in the computer, anywhere anybody can see your certificate. So all the times you need not mention that this is my certificate or attach the Xerox copy of the certificate. Everything is not required. Suppose you are applying in USA, simply you tell your GRE score, or you tell your GMAT score, you write the number. From USA, they can verify how much score you have got in your GMAT, how much score you have got in your GRE or TOEFL examination. That type of system, that is everything will be digitalized in that system. And yes, that credit system will be there, and the credit bank will be there. Every student will have a account in that credit bank. So whatever he learns, whatever credit he has earned, that will be shown in his account. Successfully, if he has completed the credits, those things will be shown in his account. So anywhere he goes, he can show that credit bank. That is he has studied this much and this much is his knowledge. That in like the money in your bank, you will have your credit scores in your credit account. Then the institutions which this new national education policy is suggesting, that all the institutions will be multidisciplinary institutions. That is, the institutions will not give a single course, or for example, if it is engineering, only engineering; if it is medical, only medical; it is pharmacy, only pharmacy. That they are telling, no, all the institutions should be multidisciplinary. The example I'll give, that this IITs, earlier it was thought that IIT is only engineering, but if you go, you see the IIT structure, there it is not only engineering. There the arts is also there, the science is also there in IITs. You will find different science subjects, different art, sociology subjects, social sciences also it is there in your management is there in IITs also. So these are the things, so will be there in the institution. Total, the number of institutions are 40,000 higher education institutions in India right now. So they are telling that instead of 40,000 higher educational institutions, that will be consolidated and it will come down to 15,000 higher educations in all over India. So there are a lot of mergers, a lot of consolidation which has to take place, and the institution will come down. And the present intake rate will increase from 700 to 3,000. That they are suggesting. So the institutions will be divided into three categories. One is category research institution, and they are purely research. So mostly their focus is on research. So for example, Indian Institute of Science, it is a research institution. I can focus. You see, in our pharmacy also, this NIPER, National Institute of Pharmaceutical Education and Research. These institutions in our field will be research institutions. They will be categorized as research institutions. That is NIPER. You see, there is no B Pharm in NIPER. Simply there is PhD and PG in NIPER. So they are mostly research, research institutions. Then the second category of institutions will be research and teaching institutions. And the third category institution, their more focus is only teaching. Those will be considered as teaching institutions. So institutions are categorized into three: research institutions, research and teaching. The third one will be only their focus will be teaching. It does not mean that the third category of institution will not do the research. They will do the research, they can do, but their main focus is for teaching. That was the categorization of institutions they are going to do. Then establishment of foreign universities in India, and Indian universities also can establish campuses in foreign countries. This new education policy, National Education Policy 2020, it allows the foreign universities, yes, they can establish their campus. Suppose it is Stanford, it is Oxford or Cambridge. If they want to start their campus in India, earlier it was not allowed. If they want to start their campus in India, yes, they will be allowed to start. And if Indian institutes, if they have credibility that they can also get students in foreign countries, they can establish their campus in foreign countries also. This is a suggestion by this new National Education Policy 2020. And in higher education, there was of course, in pharmacy education or technical education, it was not there. In general education, MPhil was there, and they have scrapped the MPhil. No, there is no MPhil. after UG and PG, he can go directly go for PhD. Of course, it was there in our pharmacy that after B.Pharm or M.Pharm, one can go for PhD directly. And they have made, yes, the institutions has to be accredited. So accreditation will be a major criteria for all the institutions, higher education and technical education in India. So accreditation has been given more importance by this new National Education Policy 2020. Then consolidation of the institutions, I was telling that at present we have near about 40,000 higher technical institutions in India, higher educational institutions. So out of that, near about 10,000 are technical institutions, and out of the 10,000, 2,500 are pharmacy educational institutions. So all these institutions, they will be consolidated. The small institution will may be merged, or one or two small institutions, they will merge to a bigger institution like this. They are planning. And here the national education policy, it insists, yes, that when we are going to change the education system, our technical education system, in that case, we have to train our teachers. So teachers training institutions, we have 4 teachers training institutions in technical education, that is NITTTR Chandigarh, NITTTR Bhopal, NITTTR Kolkata, and NITTTR Madras, Chennai. So there are 4 technical teachers training institutions for our technical education. These 4 institutions will be given more responsibility to train the teachers. Then the teaching community, they have to be revitalized for but means their knowledge base or knowledge level, it has to be enhanced by giving more training in the particular field or particular area, and their skill has to improve. That is the so I just quoted that Abraham Lincoln once, he said, if you give me 6 hours to chop up a tree, I will spend 4 hours for sharpening the axe. अगर कोई पेड़ काटने के लिए 6 घंटा दिया जाए तो मैं 4 घंटा तो उसमें एक्स को शार्पनिंग में लगूंगा. इसका मतलब है if the axe is very sharp, then my work is very easy. So here how I put that if the teachers are well experienced, well trained, they are well skilled, then education is very easy. If teacher is well qualified, his skill level is very high, his knowledge level is very high, then teaching is very easy. Transfer of knowledge from teacher to the students will be very easy. So the teachers has to be trained properly. More focus will be given to the train the teachers in the new education policy or the new skill development. They should be well trained, and they should have more soft skills. They will also do this digital era and technology savvy. All over India, 5 lakh teachers are expected to be recruited in the entire higher education system in India. So, and the education system, last week also I read in Times of India that yes, 40% of the courses can be online. So when the teachers are fully skilled, they are having more soft skill. So all these new technology, education technology, that is online education and this digital education, everything will be easy. So they will be trained, and they will have more soft skills, and mostly the technology will be used to impact the education. That is the purpose. Then again, education NEP 2020 has highlighted the following major points for consideration of in higher education. That is the main role is why this education policy came, because we have a target. So far, this general gross enrollment ratio, it is only 26.3%. And government plans by 2035, the gross enrollment ratio in higher education, it has to go up to 50%. That is a major concern for the government, that yes, the national education policy will help. And creation of 4-year undergraduate program with multiple entry and multiple exit points. So all the UG programs will be 4 years and with multiple entry and multiple exit. And establishment of single regulatory system. Nowadays, there are so many regulatory bodies like this: Pharmacy Council of India, Medical Council of India, Dental Council of India, AICTE, National Council for Teacher Education. Like this, there are 17 different bodies, Bar Council of India. All these things are there, and everybody is busy in giving the approval and regulating the courses. So the government and UGC is also there, University Grants Commission, everybody is there. So everybody shows that yes, we have the power, we will exercise this power, we will give approval, this, that, whatever. And this multiple regulatory system they are going to eliminate. They are going to establish a single, that is called umbrella regulatory system, that is National Higher Education Regulatory Authority, NHERA. National Higher Education Regulatory Authority. Under that, all these bodies will come: AICTE, PCI, MCI, Pharmacy Council of India. Everybody will come under that, and that will be the major body for giving you the approval. That is called the single window approval system. You need not go to this, that. So many approving bodies are there in India. That they are going to do away. And UGC will lose its approving power of the university. UGC will become the only a grants giving authority. Its name will be changed also. So the funding of the will be through University Grants Authority by revamping present UGC. The UGC will be it will be revamped to the grants giving authority, not it will control the universities. Control will be shifted to Higher Education Regulatory Authority. That will be there. So, and all the regulatory bodies like this, Pharmacy Council of India, AICTE, MCI, they will be converted as a professional standard setting bodies, PSSB. They will be converted as a professional standard setting bodies. Means they will tell what should be the standard of this pharmacy, what regulation, what, but they cannot give the approval. They cannot do all these inspections, all these things, they will not do. That will be taken away. Of course, at the time of implementation, you will see what is the issue, what is the difficulties arising out of this. That will be decided at that time. But the present recommendation of the education policy is that yes, they will be called as professional standard setting bodies. They will be there, but they will remain there as a advisory bodies. That they will advise, give the what should be the standard of the pharmacy, what should be the standard of this engineering, what should be the standard of this bar council. All these things they will give they will write the standards. And the universities will be consolidated, like I told that it will be converted to 3 categories: research and education. These 3 type of institutions they are going to do. The universities will be also consolidated according to that criteria. And the consolidation would give rise to the enrollment from present. At present, we have 700 average intake in institutions, so that may go up to 3,000 per institution. And converting from single discipline into multidiscipline educational research universities. Yes, earlier it was a single discipline institute, only a single discipline was there. That they are going to make multidiscipline. Yeah. Number of different arts will be there, science will be there, so engineering will be there, so management will be there. So multidisciplinary universities they are going to recommend, and it is recommended. And each state government must develop a strong framework to achieve such quality. Actually, central government cannot do all these things because education is a subject which is also there with the state government, it is with the central government. And the state government also, they have to come forward and they have to implement this education policy, and they have to go for this consolidation. They will, if there are two small universities, they will merge into one, and if there are a very big university, they may divide into two. This way, so all these consolidations will be taken up by the respective state governments. And one more thing that which they are suggesting in this system is massive accreditation of institution. Accreditation will be the criteria. Of course, nowadays accreditation is an NAAC, NAC, that is called National Accreditation and Assessment Council. It is a subsidiary body of University Grants Commission that is given the accreditation. And National Board of Accreditation, which is giving accreditation to engineering, pharmacy, and other technical institutions. In future, all these accreditation bodies, it will be consolidated to only one. There may be a part for technical education, but it will be consolidated to one. And the NAC accreditation will be the criteria for measurement of the quality of the institutions. It will come in future. So all institutions will be so, since the number of institutions is so high, that if everybody comes for accreditation at a time, then it may be difficult to accredit all the institutions. So phase by phase, by putting different filters, they will go for accreditation of the institutions. That is the process to be developed. Then a few more additional features which this national education policy suggests, that is quality and quality consideration for faculty. Faculty, as earlier I have told, that yes, the faculty has to be trained sufficiently so that they are well skilled to impart a good education, and quality will improve. Everything, they are mostly technology savvy, their skill level should be very high. All these things will be considered for the faculty and quality. And vocational education, yes, they are going to put vocational education in the school level, middle school onwards. They will put vocational education so that learners are exposed to various vocational skills, which will help them for getting more employment opportunity, or they are more employable. That is the focus, additional feature of this national education policy. And embracing digital era, that everything, e-learning, e-assessment, use of IT in education, everything. You see all these things happening during this COVID period. Because of the technology, we are able to complete this STTP. Earlier it was not possible, and earlier it was not so much effective. Now you see the number of participants, number of resource person, also you get good resource person, and you also get good number of response, good number of participants. So all these things because of the technology. So all these things will be, it will help, and you can say that the education system will be only technology driven education system, that will be there. Then the relevant chapters which deals our education system in the new education policy. There are so many. I told that is a 500-page document. There are different chapters. Out of that, these chapters from chapter 16 and chapter 18, it deals with our higher education in national education policy. So chapter 16, it deals with the regulators like Pharmacy Council of India, AICTE, UGC, Bar Council of India, Dental Council of India, Medical Council, 17 different professional bodies. And you know, PCI came in 1948, UGC 1956, AICTE 1987. And NBA is a outcome of AICTE in form of a society, and the NAC is a outcome of UGC in form of a society. These are the different bodies which are there, and chapter 16 deals with these different bodies. Then chapter 18, it says that there will be National Higher Education Regulatory Authority, NHERA, and the transforming the regulatory system, it will be light but tight regulation system. That is, education regulations, whatever criteria they will fix, they have to follow those criteria. It is not, the criteria is not such that it cannot be implemented. It is implementable and practical. That will be there, and it will be, but unless all these regulations are there, all these criteria is fulfilled, then only a person will get the approval, or he will get the permission. And the parameters which will be followed strictly for future, that yes, everybody has to be accredited. That is, and accreditation once every 5 years with consultation with the PSSB, that is professional standard setting bodies will be, they will be consulted, and every 5 years the accreditation will be given. And the fee will be open and economical. You see, now if you are going to accredit a pharmacy college, B.Pharm, diploma pharmacy, and if you M.Pharm, you have to spend around 20 lakhs or 25 lakhs for this accreditation fee itself. It is so costly. But this new education system, they are going to reduce all these things. Yes, it is not to be so costly that to go for accreditation. That is the system they are going to. And the standard setting has to be done. The standard setting has to be done by the respective standard setting bodies. For pharmacy, the standard setting body will be Pharmacy Council of India. For engineering, it is AICTE. For medical, it is MCI. For dental, it will be the Dental Council of India. Like this, there will be standard setting bodies. Then this NAC will continue for giving accreditation, and UGC will be converted to Higher Education Grants Commission. It will be, now it was approving the deemed universities, state universities, all these things are approved by UGC. But that role, they will do away with all these type of approving role. Simply they will give that the UGC has to give the grants giving commission, Higher Education Grants Commission. Then there will be National Council for Teacher Education, AICTE will be there as a PSSB, Pharmacy Council of India will be there as a PSSB, Bar Council. All these bodies will be standard professional standard setting bodies. It will function in the same manner. And there will be a General Education Council. The way it is for technical education, there will be, for general education, there will be a General Education Council. And the government is also going to set up there will be one National Higher Education Qualification Framework. This one will rationalize the different qualification, engineering qualification, architecture qualification, different and how much credit should be there, what are the course content, everything. They will rationalize the National Higher Education Qualification, which qualification is equivalent to which qualification, how much weightage this qualification, how much weightage that. All these things will be done by this National Higher Education Qualification Framework they will do. That is. So all these things which I am telling, it is the recommendation. But at the time of implementation, if any issue arises or any difficulty arises, then the things may change also. But these are the major criteria they have made, they have recommended. And government has accepted all these things. And slowly they will go for implementation. It will take 5 to 7 years for complete implementation of this education policy. Then there will be Rashtriya Shiksha Ayog. There will be Rashtriya Shiksha Ayog, that will be a Shiksha Commission. It will be set up at the national level. There will be one Rashtriya Shiksha Appointment Committee. The way there are the banking service recruitment boards, banking railway service recruitment boards, this type way. So the government is also thinking of yes to set up, there will be Rashtriya Shiksha Appointment Committee. That it is a body. Well, let us see at the implementation stage what is. Then standard setting commission, that SSB will be there for different standards. And each body will have their independent board. Each the body, whether it is Shiksha Ayog or whether it is NHE, QF or GEC, everybody will have their own independent boards. They will have governing bodies, and all the governing body has to be constituted by Rashtriya Shiksha Ayog will constitute all these governing bodies. That is. I was telling you that the present, from the beginning, I was telling how many higher education institutions in India in 1950, and in 2020, you see the higher education in India. We have 23 IITs. Earlier, it was 5 major IITs, that was Kharagpur, Kanpur, Delhi, Bombay, and Chennai. The 5 major IITs were there, but now the number of IITs has increased. Sixth one was Guwahati, BHU Roorkee. These are the good IITs, and other than that, so many IITs have started at different places, Patna, Hyderabad, Bhubaneswar, like this. So total 23 IITs. And Indian Institute of Science, we have 7 in country. National Institute of Technology. Earlier, they were called regional engineering colleges. It was funded by Government of India. So now there are 31 NITs. Almost each state has one NIT. And triple ITs. Indian Institute of Information Technology 25. And 1950, I was telling 30 universities were there in India. And in 2020, you see there are 993 universities in India. And AICTE approved colleges, 10,989, and higher education colleges, almost 40,000, 39,931 higher education institutes. So you just imagine the 1950 education system in India, a few thousand. Now we have this 39,931, and the total intake is 37 million. That is the intake, near about 4 crores enrollment is there in this higher education system. So this is the capacity of our education system at present at 2020. Again, the breakup of universities in India. Central universities 46, Central Open Universities, that is one at IGNOU, a national institution of national importance 127, state public university, and that is the government university 371, institution under state legislature act, there are total 5, state open university 14, state private university 304, state private open university only 1, deemed university government 34, deemed university government aided 10, and then deemed university private 80. So total we have 993 universities in India at present. So this is the then apart from this, we have a system that is called the research. Research is also given a, so there is a chapter which is specifically dedicated for research. This is about our pharmacy institutions, because since we all teachers are from pharmacy, so this is the pharmacy institutions breakup. Mohali, Ahmedabad, Guwahati, Hajipur, Hyderabad, Kolkata, Raebareli, these are the neighbors. First one is Mohali, started in 1985 or some in those days. And 4 new neighbors were also, they were sanctioned, but afterwards those were also deleted. Pharmacy colleges, near about 2,500, both degree and diploma. And in 2015, 3 neighbors, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, Maharashtra was sanctioned, and afterwards also it was dropped in 20. And we have different universities also which are offering this pharmacy education. Rajasthan Central Universities, your Bihar Central University at some other places. This is Chhattisgarh Central University or Jharkhand. They are also Central University, Haryana Central University, Banaras Hindu University. They are offering pharmacy courses. So these are the pharmacy institutions which are. So then I was telling that there is a special section they had made for this research funding. So they are going to establish that chapter 13 of the new education policy 2020 deals with a national research foundation. So why this foundation came into picture, that any country which is developed, their research expenditure indicates its development. Research expenses in USA is 2.8% of its GDP. In China, it is 2.1%. Israel, you see the research expenses, it is 4.3%. It is so advanced in research that a small country is so much advanced. Whatever technology it is showing to this world. You see this present, or since long, it is also how it is. It has developed its defense system and how it is protecting itself because of the technology. So that is very strong in research. Israel. South Korea is also a country which is spending 4.2% of its GDP in research. And the number of researchers in different countries, in India, it is 15 per 1 lakh population. In China, it is 111. USA, it is 425, and Israel is 825. So these are the research personnel involved in different. So the way you find the China, US, Israel, there are more number of people involved in research and they are developed. And research funding is also there. India only 15. It is very low in the research scale. That is the reason the government is thinking of encouraging the research, and they are going to set up a national research foundation with an outlay of 20,000 crores. So those money will be spent for research development. Now you see, this National Research Foundation, research expenses in, yes, that was then, then impediments of research, the different hurdles for this research were that you see their lack of fund, research culture was not there, lack of capability, the infrastructure was also not there. So to encourage this, the government will allocate money. Activities of research foundation will be there. Competitive peer-reviewed grants. They will invite applications. You will apply for the research grants, and it will be reviewed by peer committees, and the grants will be given. So this is and this research foundation will act a liaison between the researcher and the government, and it will recognize outstanding research through different prizes and sanction seed money and to grow, and then it will facilitate for the research. That is the purpose of this National Research Foundation. Under National Research Foundation, grants outlay will be 20,000 crores, and National Research Foundation structure will be a good organizational structure headed by a chairman. And apart from this National Research Foundation, other bodies at present, they are also giving money, this DST, DBT, Indian Council of Agricultural Research, Indian Council of Medical Research, University Grants Commission. All these also, they also provide research funding, and they will also continue giving these grants. And various, they will give research fund after rigorous reviewing of the your applications, and they will build research capacity at all the university and colleges level. This is the so what I have described in all these chapters, that of this new education policy, that they are going to completely modify the system, And to summarize that there will be a single regulating body, more importance to the research, and a multiple exit and entry system for getting your degrees. So these are the and consolidation of the different institutions and the restructuring of the institutions. These are the major things which has been recommended in this Indian national education policy. However, see, it is at the policy stage, but the implementation stage, which will take 5 to 7 years time completely in implementation, that time different problems, different issues may come, and those difficulties may be overcome by modifications or different new suggestions. So this is a overview of the National Education Policy 2020. I thought it will be useful to our new teachers, participating teachers, and they should be aware about the new education policy, which will keep them alert about different changes. So this much I could prepare for you out of this national education policy. I feel that it may be helpful to all of you. Okay, I thank all of you, all the organizers and all the principal, the coordinators, the management of the college for inviting and the participant for the patient hearing of my lecture on this national education policy. So this is my lecture on this. I thank all of you once again. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Once a minute, sir. Thank you very much, sir. There are some queries about NEP.
Yes.
सर टीचर्स ये जानना चाहते हैं कि अब NEP आने के बाद टीचर का रोल कैसा होगा?
Teacher ka role, you see, once the NEP comes, there will be changes in the course structure also will be there, and the teachers has to they have to keep updated themselves in different changes, and technology, the NEP will be more technology oriented, different tech, so they have to be develop their own skill for the technology, how to impart the education, and further lot of openings will be there in the teaching field, in government or semi-government or autonomous bodies. Lot of openings will be there, and many opportunity will come, and further lot of grants schemes will come for these research, because research is given a major focus, and teachers can encash those opportunities during that time. That will be there.
सर दूसरा ये क्वेश्चन आ रहा है बहुत बड़ा कि आने वाले टाइम में जब मल्टीपल एंट्री होंगी और मल्टीपल एग्जिट्स होंगी, तो ऐसा नहीं लगेगा कि बच्चे की जब मन में आया तब वो पढ़ेगा और जब मन में आएगा वो छोड़ के चला जाएगा? तो हाउ टू रेगुलेट दीज थिंग्स? हम बैचलर्स की तरफ लोगों को ना भेज के, मास्टर्स की तरफ ना भेज के, केवल डिप्लोमा और पोस्ट डिप्लोमा करके वो अपनी जॉब की तरफ आगे बढ़ जाएंगे?
Yes, this is a big question. Of course, at this stage, how it will be dealt, it is difficult to tell, but it will be beneficial. That's why it is made mandatory, because earlier what the purpose of the national education policy is to increase the net, that is called the gross enrollment ratio. Because there are few people who are unable to afford for education 4 years, and after getting some skill for 1 year or 2 years, they may go for the job. So in those cases, government says that yes, let them go for the job with that qualification. If they are able to fetch a job, let them do the job. And if they wish to come back again to complete their degree, because in those jobs they will be at the lower level, to move to the higher level, they may face the difficulties. When they face those difficulties, if they want to come back and complete the remaining 2 years, yes, it will be allowed to them. Then they will pay their fees and they will further do the degree or whatever. So, but those 2 years which they have studied earlier, that will not go waste. That is the purpose. However, by saying this, I tell that it will be found at the time of implementation only. It is not that it is so simple that we say it and it will be easy. That is, at this stage, it is difficult to assess.
सर द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज, जैसे अभी जो सिस्टम चल रहा है उसमें डिप्लोमा कोर्सेज एक होते हैं और डिग्री कोर्सेज एक होते हैं, कॉलेजेस और इंस्टीट्यूट्स के पास दोनों की बराबर बराबर सीटें होती हैं। आने वाले टाइम में यदि एक ही कोर्स हो जाएगा मल्टीपल एंट्री और मल्टीपल एग्जिट के लिए, तो ये सीट्स कोलैप्स हो जाएंगी, लगभग आधी रह जाएंगी, तो क्या होगा फिर कॉलेजेस का?
यू सी, इट में हैपन दैट आधी छोड़ दिए तो आधी भी ज्वाइन भी कर सकते हैं। That situation may also rise. Suppose after 2 years, 10 students left, but 10 students may be waiting to join also. So only a time frame, 2 years, 3 years after implementation, only this type of assumptions will be answered properly.
So my question is slightly different कि जैसे अभी 120 सीट हो जाती है टोटल, 60 डिप्लोमा की और 60 डिग्री की, तो आगे चल के तो पूरा एक ही हो जाएगा, तो only 60 seats are there. So how much for the earning or capitalization or in such?
You see, this will be a pyramid structure. From the beginning, it will be 180 seats. So pyramid structure will be there. By the time it is first year, degree, diploma, everything will be 120 or plus 60, 180. Gradually, people may reduce 160, 140. At the end, it may be 100.
Okay.
So this way pyramid will be there, but from the beginning you will get 180. That way it will be there. But all these are assumptions. Implementation stage, even government will devise criteria. PSSBs, professional standard setting bodies, also they will devise the criteria. That much of thought is not put at the initial stage in this policy. It will come. It will come.
Sir, what about the eligibility of the teachers after 5 years or 10 years? What you have to see in the future?
Teachers eligibility will remain same. Only thing is that
4 year का बीएड इन्होंने प्रिस्क्राइब कर दिया एनपीई में कि नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी में बीएड इज फॉर 4 years. Then what is the minimum eligibility qualification for pharmaceutical teachers also after 10 years or 15 years?
Actually, technical education में there will be, in general education there will be lot of changes. Technical education में you may not get lot of changes, but getting additional training from NITTR or attending the conferences or improving your skills, those things will be required. Otherwise, like this general education, BEd, 4 years, other things, that much drastic change will not be there in case of technical education. It will be almost same with further improvements, additional skills.
Sir, the last question is, the pharmacy education for degree or diploma is for 4 years, or it may increase or decrease?
Oh, that is not decided so far. It will be 4 years because the entire education they have made 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. So 5 plus 3 plus 3, it is up to 11th class. Ho gaya. Then thereafter 4 years. All degrees will be 4 years. Engineering, general degree, pharmacy degree, everything will be 4 years. So within that 4 years, if it is 2 years, it is diploma. If it is 1 year, it is certificate course. It is 4 years completes, he has completed his degree.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. I summarize your expert talk in my small words that many changes have been introduced in the academic system of India, starting from the school to the college levels. National Education Policy 2020 has been approved by the Union Cabinet, reflecting all the changes. The newly approved plan talks about major transformational reforms in Indian academic sector, which are appreciated by many of us. Along with the appreciation, there is also some criticism with some focuses on the drawbacks of the new education policies. In nut and shell, I will say that with the introduction of the NEP 2020, many changes have been made, and one of those is the discontinuation of the MPhil course, PG courses. Even though there are many drawbacks in the new education policy, the merits are more in number. It is believed by many that implementing these changes, the Indian academic system will take a step higher, higher and higher. So thank you very much, sir, for joining us in this short-term training program. And this is a love of token and love of respect of e-certificate to you. We will share you by email and WhatsApp in a few moments, and the hard copy will send to your address when the pandemic is over and courier services will on, sir. So
thank you. Bye bye.
And there is an information for the participants. Tomorrow's session will start at sharp 9:30 a.m. and it will be taken by Dr. Suraj Pal Verma from DPSRU, Assistant Professor in Pharmaceutical Analysis, and he will take a brief lecture on the GCMS. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Be fit, be active, and be at home.